Hello, everyone, and welcome. If you're a management student, you already know that logistics is a huge topic. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down its core functions. We'll keep it simple, clear, and absolutely perfect for your exams. Let's get right into it. So, here's what we've got on the agenda. We'll kick things off with a solid definition. Then, we'll walk through the four key functions: transportation, warehousing, order fulfillment, and inventory management. And to wrap it all up, we'll see how they all fit into the big picture. All right, first things first. Before we get into all the different functions, we need to start with the absolute basics. What is logistics, and why is it so important for any business? Okay, so what is logistics? Well, at its core, it's the whole process of managing how things get acquired, stored, and then moved to their final destination. The three words you really need to remember here are planning, implementing, and controlling. It's all about creating the strategy, putting it into action, and then keeping an eye on everything to make sure it's as efficient as possible. Now, all of that work has a very clear goal. You'll definitely want to remember this for your exams. It's often called the rights of logistics. The whole idea is to get the right product to the right place at the right time in the right quantity, all while keeping costs to a minimum. And if you nail all of that, you get the grand prize: happy customers. Just think of this as a roadmap for how it all works. You've got the main logistics system, and it relies on these four functions working together perfectly. And we're going to follow this exact flow, starting with the one that gets things, well, moving. Which brings us to our very first core function: transportation. This is probably the part of logistics you see every day. It's all about the actual physical journey a product takes. To put it simply, transportation is really the engine that drives the whole supply chain. Think about when you order something from Amazon. Transportation is what takes that package from a huge warehouse, gets it across the country, and lands it right on your doorstep. Without it, goods would just be sitting around, not going anywhere. But it's not just about putting a box on a truck. There are so many critical decisions to be made. Should we send this by air because it's fast, or by train because it's cheaper? What's the most efficient route to save fuel? Which delivery company is the most reliable? And, of course, how can we track it the whole way? Every one of these is about balancing cost, speed, and reliability. So here's the bottom line. Transportation is what makes the whole supply chain move. Its main job is to make sure goods get where they need to go efficiently and on time. That is your key takeaway for this function. Okay, so goods are on the move, but they almost always need a place to stop between point A and point B. And that brings us to our second function: warehousing. Trust me, it's way more than just a big storage shed. It's a strategic hub. A warehouse is that crucial link where goods can take a pause. It's that Amazon fulfillment center we talked about. This is where products are received, stored safely, organized, and basically kept on standby, ready to go the second an order comes through. It's a temporary home for all that inventory. And inside that warehouse, there's a ton going on. You've got careful storage and handling, meticulous inventory tracking. Even the layout of the building is designed for maximum speed. Sometimes they even use a technique called cross-docking, where goods go straight from an incoming truck to an outgoing one to pretty much eliminate storage time altogether. So, for warehousing, the key point is that it has two main jobs. First, keep the goods safe, and second, make sure there's a smooth, organized flow of those goods to the next step of their journey. All right, we have our products sitting in a warehouse, so what happens next? Well, a customer clicks Buy Now, and that simple action kicks off our third function: order fulfillment. Order fulfillment is basically everything that happens to connect that customer's order to the actual product in the warehouse. It's the entire process of turning a digital click into a physical package showing up at someone's store. And in this game, accuracy and speed are everything. This whole process has a few really critical steps. First, the order gets processed. Then, someone in the warehouse actually picks the right item off the shelf and packs it up. Next, it gets shipped out. And just as important, this function also has to handle returns, managing that whole reverse process. The key takeaway here is that order fulfillment is your direct line to the customer. If you mess this up, send the wrong thing, or deliver it late, that is one of the quickest ways to lose a customer for good. So we've moved the goods, we've stored them, we've shipped them out. But wait, how did we know how many items to have in the warehouse to begin with? That question leads us straight to our final function: inventory management, which is a real balancing act. Inventory management is basically like walking a tightrope. You have to have enough product available so you don't run out when customers want to buy something. That's called a stock out. But you don't want to have so much stuff that you're just wasting money on storage. It's all about finding that sweet spot, having just the right amount. And to find that balance, professionals use some really cool techniques. They try to forecast future demand. They might keep a little safety stock just in case. They classify items by importance using something called ABC analysis. And sometimes they use a just-in-time system where products show up exactly when they are needed. And this right here perfectly sums it up. The goal of inventory management is all about optimization. How can we have the highest possible stock availability for the lowest possible cost? So we've broken down all 4 functions one by one. Now let's just take a step back and see how they all work together to create one big, powerful system. This table is pretty much your ultimate study guide. You can see everything side by side. Transportation is all about movement. Warehousing, that's storage. Order fulfillment is focused on delivery. And inventory management is all about balance. But notice how they're all linked. You can't fulfill an order without goods in a warehouse. And you can't have goods in a warehouse without transportation. It's all connected. And that brings us right back to our most important takeaway. When all 4 of these functions are working in harmony, they achieve that goal we talked about at the very beginning, getting the right product to the right customer at the right place and time, in the right quantity, and at the right cost. And that isn't just about operations. That is the very foundation of customer satisfaction and, in the end, business success.